In other words, if you don't deal with the pain in the gym, you don't get the gain. As a former bodybuilder, I used to push the iron so much that my muscles would hurt. My forearms, my biceps, my triceps, my leg, my back, it would just hurt. You know how I alleviated the pain? Work some more. That's right. Runners run into this. They run marathons. It seems like when they get to the 20th mile, they want to quit. The 25 mile, they hit the wall, they want to quit. The body's saying, are you crazy? What are you doing to me? But they push themselves and they break through the wall. But payday comes after Labor Day. Some people say, well, I'm not working for myself. I'm working for the man. I get up 4 o'clock in the morning, drive down the freeway, deal with all my cousins on the freeway to get to work at 6 o'clock. I was running late. I forgot to punch in. Whoops. So I tell my boss, he said, well, you better punch in right now because the 4 hours you just did, they don't count. But boss, you know I was here. Payroll, they go by what you put on the clock. If you don't punch the clock, you don't get paid. Wow. Working for the man. You work for the man, they have a task for you to do, they have a time for you to do it, and they have a certain amount of money they're going to pay you. And they have accountability. At the end of the week, you got to give them a report of what you did. At the end of the month or the end of the year, even executives have to give a report of what they did. We're paying you all this money. What did you do? You ask your kids that. I gave you $20 allowance. What did you do around the house last week? Because I don't see where you did your work. Yes, there's accountability. Working for the man. You have to have goals. If the boss is paying you $100 an hour, you can bet he's making at least $300 an hour. He has to have not only what he's paying you, but then some more. Your earnings are based upon your input. No input, no earnings. And then comes your salvation. TGIF, what does that stand for? Thank God it's Friday. As a teenager, going into adulthood, I was working all week long. Couldn't wait till I got Friday. When Friday came, woo, 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 party. That was the life mentality that I had. I was free. I was saved from the drudgery of working. Some people work all their lives and they can't wait till they retire. And then they retire. You know what they do? Some of them sit around and become couch potatoes. Then all of a sudden you hear that their health is not doing good. Or you hear that they are no longer with us. What's up with that? Our bodies are not designed to shut down permanently. Working for the man is a good thing because the man has money to pay you. In Genesis, it tells us in chapter 31, let me back up a little bit. Genesis chapter 29. Genesis chapter 29 at verse 15. The word of God says this, Genesis 29:15. Then Laban said to Jacob, because you are my relative, you should therefore serve me for nothing. Tell me what your wages should be. Verse 16. Now Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the elder was Leah. The name of the younger was Rachel. Leah's eyes were delicate, beautiful. But Rachel was beautiful in form and appearance. Now Jacob loved Rachel. So he said, I'll serve you 7 years for Rachel, your younger daughter. So he worked diligently. 1 year went by, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. He looked over and, oh man, she looked good. Woo-wee. One more year. He worked a little bit harder. Nowadays, fellas don't believe in working at all. What you mean? You don't have a car? If you don't have a car, how are we going to get to the movies? I don't have a car. This is the guy talking to the young lady. You know, I used to tell my daughters, if he want to take you out, he can't ride in your car. If he don't have transportation to take you out, you ain't going with him. Simple as that. Why should he take out my daughter and he doesn't have transportation? When they were younger, I said, okay, even if they got on the bus, he had to pay the bus fare. What's happening to people nowadays? Well, another subject matter. But getting back to Jacob. Jacob was in a position where he worked 7 years to get Rachel as his wife. An interesting thing took place, though. He didn't get Rachel as his wife. The Bible tells us in Genesis 31:41, thus I have been in your house 20 years. I served you 14 years for 2 daughters and 6 years for your flock. You have changed my wages 10 times. First point. Wedding day. 7 years. Jacob worked all this time to marry Leah. She's beautiful. He can't wait till they get married. Have a big wedding ceremony. She got all this vestive attire on and everything. Got her face covered where you can't see nothing but her eyes. And it's dark, you know, he might have drank a little bit. I don't know. But next thing you know, they're back there in their bedroom consummating their marriage. He wakes in the morning. Woo! Leah, what are you doing here? And so he goes to Laban and said, Laban, you tricked me. I worked you for 7 years for Rachel. He said, yeah, I forgot to tell you. The oldest daughter has to be married first. So I gave you Leah. Now, if you want Rachel, you got to work 7 more years. So he worked 7 more years. So he had 2 wives. He had Leah and he had Rachel. And he worked 14 years. And then his boss, his uncle, said, you want some cattle? I'll give you some cattle, but you can only take the scrubby ones over here. But God blessed him to have the scrubby ones to multiply and to be healthy. So he had more sheep, more flock than his uncle did. And his uncle got upset. So now he got the uncle's good-looking daughters. Let me put it like, he got the uncle's daughters. He got the uncle's flock, and he's really doing really good. But he's upset. You're supposed to get paid $16 an hour. You get your check, you work 40 hours. You took out your calculator, you go, that's not $16 an hour for 40 hours. So you go talk to the boss, says, boss, I think accounting made a mistake. You paying me $16 an hour. I work 40 hours, but this is not right. This indicates that I'm only making 13 hours. Yeah, that's right, that's right. I changed your wages. We had some difficulty in the company, and I had to reduce everyone's pay. But you didn't tell me that. You can't reduce my pay and not tell me about it. This was the thing that Jacob was going through. His uncle changed his wages 10 times. You're supposed to get 25 cents raise increase, and it's a 20-cent raise increase. What's up with that? So we are very funny about our money. You know what? People work for themselves, physically, mentally, spiritually. They work for the man. But people don't really think about working for God. A very high political individual. If I say his name, you know exactly who I'm talking about. He had the audacity to say, you know, I think I'm going to heaven. I really should go to heaven. I think I'm going to heaven. Newsflash, newsflash, no pay day for no labor. What has he done for God? His actions aren't God actions. His actions aren't Christ-centered actions. His actions are self-servant. All the people working for him, a great majority of them anyway, are self-serving for him. So what makes him think that he's going to earn his way into heaven? We don't earn our way into heaven anyway. For by grace are you saved, not of works. No man can boast, but we have work to do. We have work to do. One of my sons, he didn't want to do the work around the house. 12 years old. I said, okay, you don't have to work. You don't eat either. He said, I can't eat. I said, no. I said, I tell you what though, if you want dinner, it's going to cost you 30 points.